This is the second Cardington vlog. Hope you enjoyed the first one. Now what I'm going to talk about this evening is the flare theory and the R101. Now we all know about the accident, or most people know about the accident that happened to the R101, what brought her to crash. But the actual fire part was secondary. It was the fire that killed most of the people, but there's two parts of the accident. It's what caused the ship to fall out the sky, what caused her to impact with the ground, and then when that impact occurred, what caused the fire. Now, the actual fact is, if it wasn't for the hydrogen igniting, there would have been hardly any casualties on the ship at all. But sadly, the hydrogen did ignite. But what caused that ignition? Now, one of the main theories that's used in a lot of books, and the first time I read it was in the book called Airships Cardington by Geoffrey Chamberlain, is a theory referring to calcium flares. Now, as the theory goes, these calcium flares were stored in the control car under the ship. They were using them to, as they were crossing the channel, they were using them, dropping them into the water. Now, these flares react with water, they ignite on touching water, and the smoke produced makes them able to work out drift. So they used them in navigational purposes. So they were dropping these flares down and watching the drift and working out navigating across the channel. Anyway, the theory goes that these flares were left in the control car. Now, whatever happened to R101 occurred. The ship came down and impacted with the ground, and on impact, the theory goes that inside the control car there was these water mains that control all the water ballast system on the ship, and on the impact, this water main burst and soaked the inside of the control car with water and soaking the flares, which in turn ignited them, which caused the fire, which destroyed the ship. Now, I've got a lot of issues with this theory. Now, it's one that's been used by a lot of people, from Geoffrey Chamberlain to Bruce Dickinson in Empire of the Clouds. He actually uses it. But my big problem is its location. It's probably on, apart from the engine pods, the furthest manned area of the ship away from the gas. You've got 2 floors above it. You've got it actually outside the ship. Now, in the case of the accident, if that did ignite, it wouldn't have been in as close proximity to the gas for it to work. There's too many things that need to be just right for it to work. But let me use a model. To show me for you. Great 3D printed model of R101. Now, she done her dives as she did. So one dive, levelled off, dived again, and she impacted with the ground. Now, on that impact, you've got all this structure collapsing when the forward motion collapsed it. You've got the structure telescoping to a degree, so you've got all sorts of ripping of the gas cells inside will be going on, all sorts of a mess happening. Now, on that impact, you've also got these engines at the front. Now, as she nosed down, these engines could have been, well, I think actually the report did say one of them did get pushed into the hull. Was it running at the time? I don't know. But it impacted. You've got all that framework collapsing. Some of that framework is also stainless steel, which I have seen online, there's references to stainless steel sparking on impact with itself. So you've got that occurring. You've got the possibility of a live electrical circuit causing sparks. You've got engines running, getting pushed into the hull. You've got petrol in there as well with the starter motors. Petrol starter motors used to start the engines, diesel engines. They used diesel engines because it was safer than petrol, but they used petrol engines to start the diesel engines, so it kind of defeated the aspect of it. But yeah, that's what happened. So the ship came down, it impacted, and something caused it to ignite. There's so much going on in this nose of the ship with the impact. You've got gas air mix, it's high with air. Obviously, the pure hydrogen won't burn. It's when you mix it with air it becomes very volatile. So at the front of the ship you've got a lot of gas air mix going on. Towards the back of the ship you've got all the gas cells. So what happened is, the theory goes, in this little area here outside the ship you've got 2 floors above it of manned area, and you're outside the ship, and that ignites. There's even a witness on one of the survivors that stated they saw a strange white light coming from the area of the control car. Now, I'm not saying that did not ignite. What I am saying is there is so much going on at this front, it wouldn't have destroyed this. That would not have been the source of the fire. There's so much going on at that front of the ship to ignite it. The flares just seem so many things that need to happen to make it work. It's never washed with me. It's outside the ship. It's 2 floors away from the gas. You've got all the gas-air mix really strong at the front where it's impacted and ripped itself. You've got so much going on at the front. You've got also hot engines that are running, being pushed into the hull. You've got all that going on, but people still go back to the flares. That's my theory. I mean, I might be wrong, might not be wrong. I might be right. Who knows? But going by common sense and looking at the location and the things that happened, nah. Anyway, flare theory. Sorry that I've rambled on a bit. I get a little bit intense on some things, and I do tend to cover them 2 or 3 times over and over again, so I do apologise for that. But I hope that makes some sense. Obviously, leave your comments below and see your opinion. What you think. Do you agree with the flares? Do you think it was got to be the flares? Do you think it could be one of the engines being pushed up? What could have caused the fire on R101 after the accident? So many possibilities, but there's so much going on at the front of that ship that could have caused it. I think the flare theory, there's too much that needs to be just right for it to work. And I don't think it's that. Anyway, I hope that was informative and a little bit entertaining. And I will be doing my next vlog very soon. So whatever you want me to talk about, I can. Just leave it in the comments below. Let me know what you want to talk about, and I'll see what I can do for you. Okay, this is my 2nd vlog, and thank you for viewing, and be kind. Okay guys, take care, and we'll speak to you all soon. Cheers. Bye bye.